I was thinking about something the other day, just occurred to me. You know how when we say, "Oh, the world is up for the highest leader," right? And it's it's basically trying to get people to work hard and be more and all of that. And I've been thinking about it in a different sense. Okay, they said the world's up for the highest bidder, right? Doesn't that include the people living inside of it? So that means that it's both the world and the people inside of it that are up for bidding, right? And thinking about it that way, it now that means that the world has a price, and the people living inside of it also have a price, right? My main lesson is that everybody has a price, right? I've heard people say, "Oh, I can't be bought. You can't buy my loyalty." I'm not. I don't know. I think I beg to differ. Everybody does have a price. It's just a matter of how you look at it, how you think about it. But everybody does have a price. Not to get religious, but the good book says that for you have all been bought for with a price. Simply saying that as far as you subscribe to the ideology of being a Christian, just know that you've been bought by God. The price he paid was his son. For Muslims, now the Muslim believes that Allah does not have a son, rather he has servants, slaves. And looking at it, it still also means that you were bought for at a price. Question now is, what are you worth? Now these are I just use this to tell the whole thing from that angle. I'm sure other religions have their own have the way they would put it, but it's undeniable that you have a price tag over your head. That is why when you go to work, what you're being paid is the price over your head. When you do better and the company decides that, oh, you are due for a promotion and you get promoted to a higher office, it's because the price over your head has changed, and that change has been recognized, and as a result, in fairness, you were promoted, because it's possible for your price to have gone up and yet you still won't be promoted. That's why I said in fairness. So everybody has a price, and I guess that's where the whole talk about value comes into play, right? Like, oh, be valuable. My mentor has this thing where he says that when you solve your problem, you become rich. Sorry, when you solve your problem, someone else becomes rich. But when you solve other people's problems, you become rich, right? Or rather, you are able to get some form of monetary, so I use the word recompense. Basically, you get payments for it, right? And so it now further goes down to illustrate that the kind of problems you solve for people, or rather the kind of people whose problems you solve, determines the kind of payment you get. If you solve a rich man's problem, you get a rich man's payment or reward. If you solve an average man's problem, you get an average man's reward, or maybe nothing at all, right? Something happened, I think that was yesterday at home, and someone came to do some work in the house. Before my dad had left, he had left some money and said, okay, when this person is done, give it to him. Initially, I looked at the amount, but I didn't think so much. I just went back to doing whatever I was up to. But when it was time for me to pay him, after I gave him the cash and he was walking away, it hit me hard. Okay. I just left the whole thing there. But I mean, they still think about it later, but yeah, it did hit me, right? He had done quite the job, but now, not like the payment given to him wasn't, it wasn't, or it was lower than what he had done, but it was, the whole thing was just, the whole scenario was just screaming value, type of work you do and how the world rewards the kind of work you do and all of that, right? And so, price. Everyone has a price. Unfortunately, I don't know. I guess we don't really realize it. That's why we tend to do it, some kind of things the way we do. I was thinking about it the other day, and then this analogy came to me, right? Now, if the price over my head is $1 million, and now it's not just 1 million, I have to take into context the currency. Is it naira? Is it dollars? Is it yen? Is it pounds? Is it euros? Is it gold bars? Is it silver ounces? Right? So, which means that if there are two people, A and B, and both of them are valued at 1 million, it now means that they're actually not really priced at the same thing, because A could be 1 million silver ounces, B could be $1 million. Last I checked, I think silver was around 70 or 80. I can't remember the exact price. But no, sorry, I think around 190 thereabout. I really can't say the exact price. Yeah, but so if that's the case, let's take it at 85, for example. So if 1 ounce of silver is $85, right? So it means that Mr. A, who is 1 million silver ounces, is actually $85 million worth. Mr. B, who is also 1 million, but $1 million is just $1 million. So it now means that Mr. A is 85% much more valuable than Mr. B. Now that's if we're calculating in terms of percentage, with 100 being the average, right? And so that now means that if that was my worth, right, 1 million silver ounces, it now simply means that everyone whose net worth is in the million, billion, trillion range and above can afford me, right? But it's just that now within the million range, they're not, okay, let me not say they're not so much, but at least someone whose worth is around $300 to $500 million, yeah, can be able to afford me. Comfortably, someone who is in the billion range, yeah. Right. So, it means that there are few people, or rather fewer people in the million range who can afford me as compared to in the billion range. So let's say there are 1 million millionaires in the world, right? And there are 10,000 billionaires also in the world. It means that all 10,000 billionaires can afford me. But then of those in the million range, maybe half of them can afford me, right? Now, if my value was to go up to, let's say, 1 billion silver ounces, no, actually, let's say my value was to go up to 10 million gold bars. Gold is currently around 4,200 right now. So at 1,200, so that's just the price. So let's say that would mean by that my price is roughly around $4.2 billion. So it not simply means that everyone in the million range, all the 1 million millionaires in the world, none of them can afford me. Now, it's only those in the billion and trillion range that can afford me. So we have 1 million millionaires, 10,000 billionaires, and let's say 1,000 trillionaires, right? And then let's say those who are above the trillion range are 100. Yeah, because there are people who are above the trillion range, just don't hear about them. So, of all 10,000 billionaires, it means that everyone who has a net worth of roughly, let's say, 30 to 50 billion dollars and above can afford me easily, right? That's just how the pricing works. So it not simply means that the day that somebody who has $100 billion net worth comes to me and says, I want you to sell to me something that is, or someone who's extremely valuable to you. Yeah, because I am up for sale, it means that he can get me to sell that person. Well, the alternative is that I don't sell and I don't get the money. But then in a scenario where I cannot say no, because let's be real, there are scenarios where you cannot say no. It's either you take the price or you end up in a worse off condition. It's not being pessimistic, it's just simply being real. There are scenarios like that and they play out every single time, every single day. You're probably just fortunate that you haven't encountered any one of them, but they do. And coming times will actually have us seeing a whole lot more and in widespread. But less about that for now. So, someone who has $100 billion net worth can afford me now, right? Easily. He can get me to do whatever he wants. But if my value range now was to jump to say 100 million gold bars, right? It means that guy, the $100 billion guy, can no longer afford me, because now my value is roughly around $420 billion. We did the math, yeah, thereabout, right? So it now means that it will take somebody in the trillion range, someone from around 10 trillion and above, to be able to afford me. Nobody in the billion and in the million range can afford me. Now, am I doing all this math? It's very simple. You have a price over your head. You have a responsibility to know what is the price over your head. Because if you don't know what the price over your head is at that current moment, anybody who has sufficient capacity, and when I say capacity, I'm referring financially, economically, because we're in a world that is run by money. Even the good book says money and tread all things flat. Okay, so it now means that if someone who has better financial capacity than you comes along and he wants you to do something, unless you are ready to not experience a certain level of financial increase, you will have to sell yourself for the price he offers, unfortunately. And the crazy part is that he can end up offering you a price that is much lower than what you really are worth. And it plays out also every single time. I mean, except for those who know what you're worth. Now, when you know what you're worth, you now have the ability to either choose to decline confidently or price it at that. Now, when the person you're dealing with knows that, come, look, you know what you're worth, 50-50, or most of the time, they can even pay you the price. I mean, as far as they know that what they are going to get is much more in value to them, more than the money they'll pay. Kind of like a win-win situation. I mean, unless, of course, it's the gory scenarios. You get what I mean, right? So that's the thing, right? There's also this other analogy my dad uses sometimes. He says, oh, the world is a marketplace. You come there, you buy. I mean, it's not from my dad. Like, a lot of people have used that phrase, right? That the world is a marketplace. Have you ever actually sat down and think, okay, if the world is a marketplace, who are the buyers? Who are the sellers? What are they negotiating about? What's the commodity? Are you a buyer, are you a seller, or are you even a commodity? Because the truth of the matter is that at any given time, you can fit any of those scenarios. Whether a buyer, a seller, or a commodity. Whether you want to or not, that's just facts. You're either a buyer, a seller, or a commodity. Now, there are so many things that happen, and the average man is like, oh, this stuff happened, government is not doing well, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, here's the thing, you don't even realize that you're just commodity. You're being bought and sold. And guys are fine dining over you that was bought. It's this simple, okay? Know the price over your head. Increase your value. And then focus more on upgrade yourself to be a buyer. And just so you know, buyers have different levels. Just like you have your local markets, then you have your shopping malls, then you have your auction centers. There are people who will never go to an antique shop to buy something, no matter how pricey or how awesome that antique shop is. If they want to buy anything, they'll rather buy it at an auction center. Not because they think that what the antique shops are selling are fake, no, but that's just their level. They are the level whereby auction centers are their thing. Then there are people who don't even know there's a thing called auction centers. It's just all value. It's just that simple. Know your price, work to increase it, and then aim to be a buyer. Now, when you become actually, at every point you are a buyer, right? I mean, classic example, your bar of soap gets finished. You're definitely going to go to a shop around or the market to go buy another bar of soap, or a group, maybe like a dozen or so, right? It's that simple. So in that sense, you're a buyer. But now I'm talking about not just even I don't use country scale. I'm looking at on a continental scale. Yes, because really it's the continental scale that matters. Anyone who is a buyer on a continental scale is really a buyer. And it's hard to price them. Not that they can't be priced, they also have a price over the head. It's just that the amount of people that can price them are less, a whole lot less than the world's population combined. Right? So, when you do that, you realize that you get to promote yourself to a higher level. You get to think differently, you get to act differently, you get to start having better results, start having better experiences. Will you experience challenges? Oh yes, because here's the thing. Everyone on the table doesn't want any new person adding to the table, because every new addition to the table means less for those already there. So they'll fight you. But it doesn't mean that there's no chance for you to rise. You can still rise. There are different ways to do that. Seek it out yourself. right? And like I said, there are different levels of bias, so it means that there are also different levels of tables. The higher the table you rise to, the better your circumstances. It's really that simple, right? I read quite a lot of wuxia novels, Chinese novels, right? And there's this common saying that Chinese have. They say that when the sky falls, the tall people hold it up, right? And it's fascinating. It's something they used to come to, let's say, console themselves that, oh, okay, when there's a problem, the government or the military or the royalty will, basically the powerful people will help to solve them, so we who are the average people don't actually have to bother ourselves about this stuff. Cool, right? But here's the thing now. When the tall people hold up the sky, what the average person fails to realize is that they now have the power to dictate what falls from the sky and when it does. So it now simply means that the tall people will dictate when it rains and how it rains and where it rains. Unfortunately for you, if they decide that where you are staying at, it will not rain for the next 10 years, sorry, you won't get anything. Yeah, it's that simple. So, but then the average person doesn't actually really think, oh, I want to be a tall person. Why will he? He knows that it's, for him, he thinks it's stress, he thinks it's unnecessary. I mean, there are days whereby I go out and come back in the evening and I just look at like everyday, pardon me for saying everyday people, right? And people who are just going about their businesses, trying to hustle and make ends meet. And I don't know, it just looks so peaceful. Maybe because I'm looking from a zoomed out scope, right? So I'm looking at it from like an overhead level. And it just seems like these people are only just concerned about, what do we eat, where do we sleep, and that's all right. And not that I have a problem with that, but then it now gets me thinking, what happens when the sky falls? What happens when someone comes around and decides that this is your price, I'm going to buy you, you can't do anything about it, and they cut off your means of life? I mean, look, let's be frank, right? The whole religious thing will not, no shade to churches, right? But let's actually look at it very, very realistically. If you don't know your price and someone else who decides that ABC is your price and they leave it at that and they circle you with no way out, sorry, there's really no escape. Yes, God could come and save you, but what if he decides to be sovereign at that moment? The 3 Hebrew boys said that, O king, we will not obey order to bow down to the golden image because of our God. And we know he will save it, but just in case he chooses not to save it, we'll still not bow down. So what if this is one of those moments where he decides to not show up? Am I saying don't be spiritual? No, so am I saying don't be religious? Actually, yes, don't be religious. Be spiritual rather. Money is itself spiritual. I remember a few nights ago we were in devotion and it was this Open Heavens on the Go that we were listening to, and Daddy Adeboye was recounting how back then it was, I think he said in the 70s or 80s, right, that poverty was seen as being very, very spiritual. And so then when Mercedes-Benz was a big thing, someone gifted him one and he felt, no, I can't drive this, because people will see me as having backslided. And so he said he kept the car in his garage for months. After a while, God spoke to him and said, son, the person who gave you this stuff, you are withholding his blessing. And after he did back and forth with God, he now said, okay, Lord, I'll drive it. And then he drove it once. And after he drove it once, he now asked God, say, Lord, can I sell it now? God said, yeah, he could. He said shortly after that, somebody gave him a six-door, said a six-door limousine. And he told God, he said that, God, you know that even if they put my dead body inside this limousine, to jump out from it, there's no way I can drive this. I mean, him saying that when he drove the Mercedes Benz, he said he felt so ashamed. But this is somebody who can conveniently go wherever he wants to in a chopper, who owns a private jet, and he does not feel anything about it. Why? Because you need to realize is that at the very least, for you to even live comfortably, you need money, you need resources, you need economic power. Your value needs to increase. It's a simple game. The politicians that you're even attacking, the so-called businessmen that you say are evil, they are living far better. They are living the life that you are jealous of. And the difference between them and you is very simple. Their price is higher than yours. Why? Because your value is higher than yours. But you fail to realize and keep on complaining, telling the same old story day after day, night after night. I mean, who do you expect to hear you? Reference to the anvil and hammer. It's a African poetry. Look, the whole point is this, right? It's very simple. Know your price, know your worth. Increase it. Focus on becoming a buyer, or rather becoming a higher order buyer. You do that and try to discover how life begins to make much more sense. Let me not say it becomes easier, because really it doesn't. It's like the higher you rise, the more sophisticated, I don't use the word complicated, but the more sophisticated it becomes. Sophistication is not really easy in certain senses. Yes. So it just, let me say, it makes more sense the higher you rise. Just think about it.